Good morning and welcome to TMI Socials, where we get to explore the happenings in the world of social media. I am Chukwufumnanya Digwe, your guide. Now, a lot of people have come out to say this issue in the Senate is not going away anytime soon, talking about the Natasha Akpabio case. Now, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, recently suspended from the Nigerian Senate, has taken her grievances to the global stage by the Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU, at of course, the United Nations. She's been very vocal in New York during the Women in Parliament session. She labeled her suspension as illegal, attributing it to her allegations of sexual assaults against Senate President Godswill Akpabio. She called for justice and urged international democratic unions to intervene, expressing concerns for her safety. Akpoti-Uduaghan suggested that influential figures in Nigeria might attempt to detain her right there in New York as retaliation. She also highlighted the broader challenges women face in Nigerian politics. Now let's watch a clip of her address at the UN.
Good afternoon, President of the IPU. Good afternoon, colleagues. I come with a heavy heart from Nigeria. But first, I'd like to apologize to Honorable Kafila Ogbara. I am not here to bring shame to our country. I'm here to seek help for the women of Nigeria. Again, my name is Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. 5 days ago, on the 6th of March 2025, I was suspended. As a senator, I was suspended illegally because I submitted a petition of sexual harassment against the President of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio. I thought that by submitting the petition, he would recuse himself, and both of us will submit ourselves to the Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petition for a fair and transparent investigation. But unfortunately, I was silenced and I was suspended. I was suspended for 6 months, amongst many other stringent conditions, such as taking away my security, taking away all the officials, vehicles, and other items that were handed over to me as a senator. My salaries will be cut off. I must not appear anywhere near the National Assembly. And for 6 months, I'm not to introduce myself or present myself as a senator locally in Nigeria or internationally. That means I'm here illegally. But I had no other place to go but to come here and speak to you women. Because this is a bigger picture. It depicts the crisis of women political representation. My suspension is not just about me. It's about the systemic exclusion of women from political leadership in Nigeria. This is a clear case of political victimization, punishment for speaking out against impunity, corruption, and gender-based violence. The United Nations Declaration 48/104 declares sexual harassment as a form of gender violence. I will resist the political intimidation. In the past few days, a number of my colleagues, my male colleagues, have reached out to me and said, Natasha, all you need to do is apologize and retract your statements. And I told them I am not going to apologize. I will not apologize for my truth. Thank you.
Thank you. I will not apologize on the truth in her words. Now, as you know, this video has been marked with a lot of reactions. Let's quickly take this said reactions on this case. For the first one, it says, Akpabio's downfall is near. There is time for everything. His immaturity has contributed to this. He allowed his ego and anger to override his sense of reasoning. This is a global disgrace for those useless senators talking about the integrity of the Senate. He should step down. Let's take the second comment on this one. The second comment from Official Dami VCE says, I think the name of the country should be greater than your dreams, ma. This kind of issue is in-house issue that should be dealt with in Nigeria, not taking it to the world. I agree with you. Have been cheated, but I think it's just a lesson for you in politics. What do you think when the world sees the Senate President as a Oloku Isonu? I don't really know what that means, but moving on to the next statement, it says every Nigerian should take a cue from Natasha when faced with cases like this and those blatant election fraud and other injustices under the APC administration. Such issues should not just be challenged locally, but also escalated to the international stage. The world needs to see what our leaders are doing rather than only reacting to the end product. especially among youth. After all, a fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. Our leaders are bad. Let's take the last comment on this particular issue. This one from BU Services says, drop the evidence. Let the world stand by you. Tomorrow, someone can wake up and accuse your husband of sexual harassment and expect them to throw stones on him without proper investigation. She's just creating content. After that, she will go to International Crime Court. She's giving bloggers what to sell for this week. Well, that's about it for the reaction, the videos, and all that's trending on this particular case. Now let's move on to the next issue that's been trending on social media. Now, in a decisive move, Nigeria's House of Representatives has directed the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, to ensure all internet service providers block access to websites posting pornographic content. The motion introduced by Representative Dalhatu Taufiki from Katsina State highlights concerns that unrestricted access to such material may promote behaviors detrimental to societal values. We'll now watch the moment this motion was presented and passed in the House, and then we'll take reactions. Let's see.
Block internet websites hosting pornographic contents and sanction defaulting internet service providers. Standing in the name of Honorable Alatu Shehu Tafoki, Honorable Tafoki is invited to move the motion.
Mr. Speaker, very distinguished colleagues, I remain Honorable Engineer Shehu Alatu Tafoki, representing Paskari, Kankara Sabwa, Terra Constituency. I'm from Katsina State. I write to move a motion for the need to block internet website hosting pornographic content and sanction defaulting internet service providers. The House notes that cyber pornography is fast becoming a global problem, and no concrete steps have been taken to curb the phenomenon of cyber pornography in Nigeria. Aware that Nigeria is a highly religious country, and all the major religions in the country have forbidden nudity and obscenity in any form. Aware that renowned psychologists and sociologists around the world have issued stern warning on the psychological, sociological, and mental consequences of viewing pornography content. Resolve 2. 1. Urge the Nigerian Communication Commission, NCC, to direct the internet service providers operating in the country to take immediate steps to block all websites that host obscene and pornographic content. 2. Also urge the Nigerian Communication Commission to apply the full rigors of the Nigerian Communication Act and National Information Technology Development Act needed against the defaulting internet service providers. And finally, mandate the Committee of Communication and Legislative Compliance to ensure implementation and report within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Mr. Speaker, I so move.
Now, that is the update on that one. Now that we've seen the video, let's delve into the public's perspectives on this development. The first reaction goes ahead to say, how is Nigeria highly religious? Make it make sense. Is that the current problem Nigeria is facing? We need food in circulation, price drop in fuel, security on our roads, farmers protection, scrap electricity based on band. Let's take the next reaction to this. The next reaction from Joshua Eze says, interesting move by the reps. I support regulating pornographic content, but is there a way to block it even on Twitter? Curious about solutions. We'll take the last comment before we move on. The last comment says, good move, and truly I commend you for this. But can we move a motion to also ban every form of corruption in Nigeria and possibly pass a law that everyone found corrupt would receive a capital punishment? It goes ahead to tag the House and says, pass laws that will stop corruption in Nigeria. That's about it for that story. Let's move on to the last one. Now, this particular one here has been trending all over this week. It's coming from the international stage as King Charles III has unveiled a special playlist in celebration of Commonwealth Day featuring a mix of global hits. But what's got Nigerians talking is that Davido's Kante made the cut. The Afrobeat Sensations track featuring Fave is listed alongside classics from artists like Bob Marley and Beyonce in the King's Music Room playlist, and it's now available on Apple Music. This inclusion further cements Afrobeat's global appeal and Nigeria's influence on the world music scene. Now let's get to take a video Oh, we won't take a video on this one. We'll quickly just take comments to what people are saying about this. Now, on the comments, someone says, King Charles curating a joyful playlist while Britain faces economic struggles, mass migration issues, and growing public disconnect. Perfectly sums up the modern monarchy. Completely out of touch. That one comes from a British national. Let's take another comment from back home. This one says, normally this guy loves making music and he's putting his all into it. Despite attaining a legendary status in Nigerian music, man still ain't slowing down. Despite his rich background, man is still serving us hot bangers year in and out. For some reasons, some of you might not like him, but the fact can't be taken away that he is one of the most humble musicians, hardworking, resilient, and always eager to promote the Nigerian culture globally, and yet he's still dropping another banger album soon. He's talking about Davido. We'll take the last comment on this one before we move on. It says, never seek validation to the point of feeling safe, proud, and a sense of achievement when it comes from an enemy. The British is never a friend to Nigeria. They are exploiters, and all they do is exploit nations, people, situations, and resources. Now they're exploiting the Nigerian music industry. Challenge on who's the GOAT, just as US with Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Who knows what price was paid or will be paid for this recognition? Cause nothing is free with humans, let alone the British. And that's about it for our TMI social segment on the TMI program. Of course, I'd like to close the program, but first of all, I'd like to say a very happy birthday to a quintessential figure, the managing director of this honorable station, Engineer Elvis Obaseki. Have a wonderful birthday to you, suave figure. It's about time to end it. I'll say join us tomorrow, and bye for now.